Now this part is very important. When you're studying for the exam, your flow concept is very important. So I was reading about this in this book, Thinking Fast and Slow. So the flow concept, basically what happens is the starting is a problem. For example, I want to go for a walk. I'm going to be lazy till the time I go for the walk. But once I'm there downstairs to walk, then that half an hour, 45 minutes is not irritating. It's going to be a problem when you want to sit down to study. But once you've started studying, then it will not be so much of a problem. It's always that momentum thing works. A body in a state of rest is going to be in the state of rest in that part. I also use this example at times in class that, if you're sleeping for 1 hour and I wake you up, then again you sleep for 1 hour and again wake you up, and I'll do that for 8 hours. Will you have a sound sleep? No. Similarly, when you're studying, if I keep on disturbing you after every half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, you want to get up, you want to use the phone, etc., you want to call your friend and chit chat, it's going to be a problem. You have to do things in flow without breaking that flow. Your output will be much better. The amount of studies you would complete, let's say in 6 hours, you'll be able to complete in 4 hours if you're not getting up every now and then. And if you're in that flow, I'll give you a couple of examples that I used to do. So while in college, I remember that my attendance would be very good at the beginning. My attendance would be absolutely 100% at the beginning. So there are students and all, I know my friends also, who would bunk the college at the beginning. Let's say January and February, you're bunking college because 6 o'clock in the morning, you have to be in the college. And at that point of time, you want to sleep. And you think that in March, April, end of February, I'll cover up for the attendance. But January, February, I would not miss my college even a single day. Because I want to accumulate 15 days of attendance, I want to bunk at the end of March, because that is when my exam is going to come up. I remember, in fact, when I was doing my CA class for taxation, so I was doing indirect tax and direct tax. Same, I was not only attending my batch, I was attending another batch's classes also. So what happened was, instead of completing the syllabus by March, I completed my syllabus by February. So the entire March, I'm bunking college and I don't have to go to my class also, tax classes. So therefore, I'm getting the full day at a stretch at home without any disturbance to study. Most people I see around do is that they would bunk first and they would have to go to the college later. I would rather have you maintain 100% attendance in the beginning, so that 20%, 25%, whatever is the amount of classes you can miss if you want to miss and if you have to miss. I'm not recommending you to, but I would want to miss my classes at that point of time towards the end, so that it is close to the exam. I have long chunks of hours at home to study. In fact, I used to have class, I remember, 6 to 10 college, 10:30 one class, 2 o'clock another class, at times 5 o'clock also another class. So if 3 days or 4 days I'm doing all the class and college and everything, one day I'll not go to college, I'll not have any classes, and that entire stretch I'm going to study. Because what happens if you do one class, you come back home, then you're kind of lazy. Then again, if you have to go to another class after 2-3 hours, or if you have some activity, it becomes irritating. And even today, what I do is, if I'm in office the whole day or if I'm in class the whole day, at the end of the class or at the end of the office, if I have to meet, I'll meet somebody. But if I'm working from home the whole day, I will not go out, because it breaks my flow. Because if I'm already out, my time to commute will also be very less, because I'm already out, I'm already not at home, I'm already in that momentum. So that flow concept is very important. So try to squeeze in a lot of classes, a lot of these things together, a lot of studying by yourself together. So try not to break that flow. Try not to do that jumping around things. For example, if you had a very stressful day in terms of class and everything, then make it a point to go out with your friends that day. But don't go out in the morning and then think of studying the rest of the day. Try to go out at the end of the day, once you've actually studied a lot, because you anyways are not going to study anymore after that. You anyways want to relax and enjoy yourself after that. Recharge, if you were to say. So try that. So marshmallow experiment is also about that whether you want to get attendance first and bunk later, or bunk now and have to attend later. Never try to push things towards the end. So I've seen students that they will push their studies just very close to the exam date, and then what if you fall ill for a week? For school exams, it was not so much of a challenge. Maybe you scored a little less for one class test or one semester test or whatever. But in professional exam, it could be delay of 6 months in your career. So when you're looking at getting into a college after your graduation, MBA college and all, there the college marks is going to matter. And also in terms of placement. So at times when companies come to placement for your college, they might have a little bit of criteria in terms of college marks for the recruitment. Because if there are 100 candidates and I want to choose only 5, how do I filter? College marks could act as a filter over there. That's where college marks do matter. You have to be comfortable to have your attendance and studies etc. done at the earlier part, and be prepared for any kind of buffer time needed in future. What if there is some family event? What if there is a marriage in your family etc. and you end up losing a week? So for that you need to be prepared. Always have that buffer time available, and always do things first. Attendance first, later I will bunk. Classes first, later I will bunk. Or you'll not bunk your classes because you need to complete your curriculum, but later on I'll have more time to study for myself. So try to have that flow concept and that squeezing, and be very selfish with time. For example, if I want to go out in the evening, and if a friend of mine wants to go out in the morning, and if it is not working out, we'll not go. But I will not waste my time unnecessarily. You're understanding? I'm just giving you an example. I'm not being able to think of a good one right now. For example, if I do not want want to watch a movie, I'll just not go for it for the sake of going. Or if I do not want to go to some place, or if I'm not in the mood of doing that, I will not do it forcefully, because then I'm doing something unproductive, and that too is not entertaining me. Be a little selfish with your time, and especially during college. And you cannot be everywhere. You have to understand that trade-off. You cannot be everywhere. You cannot make everybody happy. If there are people who can support you in your career and your growth, it's fine. If they can't, then it's even better you know who they are. So don't fall for all that, because right now you have to build your career. So with respect to discipline, now what happens is, at times you're not feeling like studying, at times you are in a bad mood. There's a lot of changes that are happening around when you're in college and all. Be very disciplined in the sense that do not have 2 bad days at a stretch. So today, say for example, I'm not feeling productive, I'm not feeling good, I'll not study today. It's okay. But at least at that point of time, I'll not sit at home with my books. I'll at least go out or watch a couple of movies at home, watch television. But next day, I'll again start studying, because now I'm a little guilty. I'm feeling a little guilty about wasting my time the other day. And I'm not saying this for the entire 6 months period. When it's close to the exam, you have to study, you know that. At that point of time, if I'm not feeling like studying, okay, I'll waste a half day. But the next day morning, I'll study, I'll get up at 5 and I'll study very well. I'll not waste my second day. And the first day where I'm not feeling like studying, I'll not keep cribbing, neither study nor enjoy. So don't do that, because that will just add on to your irritation, because you've neither refreshed. Second day again, you don't feel like studying. So don't do that. You take a break. But the second day, you cannot be doing the same thing. So you cannot have 2 bad days at a stretch. You have to be that disciplined and that firm with your mindset in order to work it out. Study in the morning. For me, that was not an option because my college timings were such. But for those students who have a college timing 10 o'clock, 11, afternoon, evening, etc., make sure you're studying early in the morning. You're not an owl. Biologically, you're a morning person. If you feel that, no, I study well at night, that is a misconception you have. That's an identity issue you have. Read Atomic Habits. You'll understand what I'm talking about. But you should get up early in the morning and study. Biologically, you're made to do that. So don't argue and debate on that. Otherwise, it's your choice. I mean, you study at night, it doesn't matter to me. But study early in the morning. Also, what happens is, if I've studied from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock undisturbed, at that point of time, there's not much to chit chat or call people, etc. So 5 to 10 5-hour study is already done by 10 o'clock in the morning, and I have the rest of the day to myself. So make sure you study well in the morning, sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time. I know this is not possible during college time. We also used to have but quite a bit of staying over at friends, playing games throughout the night. But at the same time, 1 month before the exam, there was absolutely no going out. 1 month before the exam, I'm sleeping exactly on time, waking up early, studying, and I would bunk my college in the last 1.5 months, because I would have good attendance at the beginning, and at the last 1.5 months before the exam, I'm not going to college. That 1.5 months, I want to study 24/7 at home. I mean, I want to be at home, I want to have my time, not waste that time going out in the heat. So I don't want that my energy goes down if I'm going out and coming back home. So I do not want to do all of that. So same time, waking up and sleeping as much as possible, at least try to do that for 2 months before the exam. So that part of the time frame. Follow the same pattern, do not change. Be comfortable the way you study, the way you've been studying in school. Of course, you'll have to level up in terms of professional exams, the revision, the practice and all that you do. But at the same time, don't try to change altogether. Because I've seen students who are very good in studios during school, and suddenly in college, writing something is uncool. Using different color pens, as I told you, is uncool. So please don't fall for all that rubbish. So you have to study, because when you see things, the way you see textbook, etc., you have that photographic kind of a memory where you can recall, okay, on the left side of the page, this was written this way. Writing things and writing increases your attention. So if I've just read through something, instead of that, if I write something, I'm not asking you to write paragraphs, but just short abbreviations or some small arrows and flowchart or whatever way you want to. But small scribbling, writing the formulas yourself, that increases retention. Be comfortable the way you study. You do not have to evolve in a negative way to study. So study like a student. You always are supposed to be a student. So do not get carried away. Getting carried away is a big problem, especially during college, because you're trying to figure out a lot of things, a lot of questions that you're trying to answer. Do not get carried away in the sense that if your friends are doing something and you do not want to do that, or if people aren't very serious about things and you want to be serious, you want to move faster. If you want to be more disciplined or more careful with your time and everybody else is in a very relaxing kind of mood, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to be criticizing somebody else, but I should also be able to spend my time and work out my time the way I want to, just the way they want to. Be very comfortable with all that. Do not get carried away. Everybody is trying to fit in during college time, but it's okay not to fit in. But have your priorities, your goals and your timelines, your career graph, etc. very sorted. Don't get carried away by that. Think about these things. It's not that you have to be very serious, as I told you, but you'll have your your exams, there is going to be a time frame where you need to be serious. There'll be a time frame where you're just enjoying yourself for a month or so. And then again, there'll be a time your exams are approaching, you get a little serious with time, and then 2-3 months at a stretch, you're absolutely very serious. You'll have to manage that. You'll have to balance that out, and you have to be very comfortable doing that. You have to be very confident because everybody is doing something, everybody's asking you to do something else. Everybody at different time is enjoying, there's something happening here, there's something happening there. So it is going to be a bit of a challenge, but be firm, be very comfortable. Write down that, okay, this is my 6 months, this is how I want to plan it out. Be comfortable and confident in whatever you want to do. So work on it.